China just became the world's biggest spy power. And here's the twist. They're not just operating in the shadows anymore. They're on LinkedIn, openly hunting for spies. The Ministry of State Security, better known as the MSS, has quietly grown into the largest intelligence agency on Earth, with over 600,000 employees. That's bigger than the CIA, bigger than the FBI, bigger than MI6. Combined, in fact, it may dwarf every Western spy agency. And in recent years, their tactics have shocked even veteran intelligence officials. Instead of dark alleys and secret handshakes, the MSS has moved their recruitment to places where ordinary professionals network, like LinkedIn. Imagine logging in to update your resume and getting a friendly message from someone who seems like a business consultant. The truth? They might be a Chinese intelligence officer trying to recruit you. This isn't a Hollywood thriller. It's happening right now. One example, a former senior U.S. intelligence official named Kevin Mallory was approached by the MSS through LinkedIn. What began as what looked like a consulting gig ended with Mallory convicted for passing secrets to Beijing. This is the new world of espionage. Invisible, digital, and global. Today, we'll explore how the MSS rose to power, how their LinkedIn strategy works, and what it means for the future of intelligence. The Ministry of State Security was founded in 1983, but for years it remained relatively quiet compared to the CIA or Russia's KGB. Back then, China was still emerging economically. It didn't yet have the reach to challenge the U.S. intelligence machine. But fast forward to the 21st century. With China's economic rise came new ambitions. Technology, trade secrets, military designs. Everything that could close the gap with the West became a target. And the MSS grew rapidly to meet this mission. Today, the MSS is estimated to employ more than 600,000 people. That's not just professional officers in Beijing. It includes analysts, cyber operatives, provincial agents, informants, and an entire ecosystem of patriotic citizens feeding information back to the state. This scale gives them reach far beyond traditional spy agencies. And unlike the CIA, which focuses outward, or the FBI, which focuses inward, the MSS combines both roles. They spy abroad, but they also act as China's domestic secret police, monitoring dissidents, ethnic minorities, and even ordinary citizens. But the most striking change in recent years is how the MSS recruits. Traditionally, intelligence agencies relied on face-to-face contact, but the MSS has embraced social media platforms as global fishing grounds. And at the top of their list is LinkedIn. Why LinkedIn? Because it's the one place where professionals across the world openly list their skills, work histories, and connections. If you're a former U.S. defense contractor, you've probably detailed your career online. If you're a scientist working in aerospace, your expertise is right there in your profile. For the MSS, it's like a shopping catalog for potential recruits. Here's how the play often works. An MSS officer or cutout sets up a fake consulting company. They reach out on LinkedIn to a target, maybe an engineer, an analyst, or someone with government clearance. The message is friendly, professional. We'd love to work with you on a research project. They dangle money, prestige, or travel opportunities. Once the target agrees, they slowly escalate. First, harmless tasks. Then requests for open source information. Finally, they ask for sensitive details. And by then the target is hooked, compromised, or paid. The Kevin Mallory case shows this perfectly. Mallory, a former CIA officer, was struggling financially. He was approached via LinkedIn by Chinese agents posing as a think tank. They offered him consulting fees. In the end, Mallory was caught passing top-secret documents, and in 2019 he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, all starting from LinkedIn. And Mallory is not alone. U.S. counterintelligence officials have repeatedly warned that LinkedIn has become a frontline battlefield. The FBI estimates that hundreds of thousands of fake accounts linked to Chinese intelligence exist on the platform. Germany's domestic intelligence service has also accused China of using LinkedIn to target more than 10,000 of its citizens in politics, business, and academia. This digital recruitment strategy is part of what makes the MSS so dangerous. With 600,000 staff and the ability to reach anyone online, their scale is unmatched. But the MSS doesn't stop at recruitment. Cyber espionage is another core pillar. Chinese hackers linked to the MSS have stolen designs for fighter jets, nuclear power plants, pharmaceutical research, and even sensitive personal data from Western citizens. One infamous breach, the Office of Personnel Management hack in 2015, which exposed detailed records of more than 20 million U.S. government employees. With that data, the MSS can potentially blackmail or track almost any American with a security clearance. The combination is powerful: cyber theft on a massive scale, paired with human recruitment through platforms like LinkedIn. Together, they give Beijing access to trade secrets, military technology, and political intelligence that can tilt the global balance of power. The question many in Washington are asking is simple. Can the West even compete with this scale? The CIA employs around 20,000 people. MI6 has fewer than 10,000. Even Russia's FSB and GRU don't come close to the manpower of the MSS. When an intelligence service has 30 times the size of its rivals and is willing to use open networks for recruitment, it's hard to keep up. But here's the twist. Size doesn't always equal success. The MSS has numbers, but Western agencies argue they still have the edge in tradecraft, the art of espionage. Smaller, tighter, more secretive networks may actually protect against leaks and inefficiency. For the MSS, managing 600,000 people is itself a challenge. Still, the rise of China's super spies is a warning. The battlefield of intelligence has shifted. It's no longer just about shadowy operatives in foreign capitals. It's about digital footprints, professional networks, and the information we share every day. So, what does all this mean for the rest of us? The Ministry of State Security has redefined what it means to be a superpower in espionage. With 600,000 employees, LinkedIn recruitment tactics, and global cyber reach, it is not just an agency. It is an empire of intelligence. For the West, the challenge is enormous. Protecting secrets is harder than ever when recruitment can start with a simple connection request. For ordinary professionals, the message is clear too. If you have skills or experience in sensitive industries, you may already be a target. Not in some smoky bar or embassy backroom, but on your laptop, in your living room. China's new super spies have changed the game. They've blurred the line between the digital world and the shadow world. And as this intelligence race heats up, one truth stands out. Espionage is no longer out of sight, in the dark. It's right in front of us, hiding in plain view. And the next time you get that unexpected LinkedIn message, remember, it might just be China's invisible hand reaching out.